going on, all you lovely people? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Michael Hora, and this is a lovely penguin. Welcome back, guys. Today we are doing a set breakdown for the brand new song by ITZY. It's Sneakers, and it's a brand new music video. It's really more what we're talking about. But yeah, they just dropped this a couple days ago. I know you guys are seeing this like a week later or stuff. I am pre-recording some things just because I'm going to be away for a week. Volunteering at a camp, and I won't be able to be making videos because I'll be away. So here's a set breakdown. Sorry I burped. I don't know. All right, so first and foremost, we start off with these close-up pictures of Sneakers in these beautiful gold frames, as well as a really beautiful red wallpaper that they put up here. This is a part of a bigger room that we'll be able to see a little bit later. However, an interesting thing you'll notice on these pictures is that these are just printed out photos of shoes. The other interesting thing too is you'll notice there's no glass in any of these frames, and that's because glass will cause glare and you can see reflections in it and stuff. So a lot of the times in different films and such, when you see pictures or things like that that have glass in them, a lot of the times they will not actually have the glass in it. They'll just be a picture in the frame. Unless they're going to break it or something like that and they need the glass to break, so then there will be glass in there. But if there is no reason for there to be any damage, there will not be glass in there. They also do this with windows sometimes too. A majority of the time there's just window frames with no glass in it, but it might have like the structure of like little cross sections or whatever that you'd see on a normal window, but just no glass. So we get a lot of these big open shots of these incredibly extravagant rooms where it looks like they got the marble floors that are checkered, and they also have the marble stairs with the kind of throne area going on up here with the different hanging pieces and whatnot. And for the most part, it does seem like this would be a really hard thing to build, but it's more tedious than it is difficult. So for the most part, you're going to just build the room kind of regularly like you would normally with wood and all that stuff. You build up the walls, you build up the pillars, you make the stairs, you do all that stuff. And then the flooring will be vinyl that they will stick to the floor to make it look like there is marble there. It's going to be the same stuff that they use just with a different pattern on it for the stairs, and also these little wall pieces here where it's marble. But then they put wallpaper on the wall here. That's actually that wall we were just looking at a second ago, and the pictures and the picture frames and all that stuff. And then when you see this gold trim and like these gold decorations and whatnot, those are pieces that were already bought that you can buy separately from the wall and all that good stuff. And they just painted it gold and then attached it to the wall. More likely than not, they probably used a small nail gun that would use some sort of air pressure, and it would just hook up to a hose and an air compressor, and you just shoot them into the wall, and then you kind of spackle over it, and then you paint them gold. But yeah, you do that on all the different things, so it makes it look very, very extravagant. But like I said, it's going to be more tedious than it is going to be a difficult build. So the walls would already be painted white. The stuff would be mostly painted gold already. Just this few little spots where they shoot a nail through, they're going to patch it up real quick with some sort of compound that they will fill it with. And then once the compound's dry, they sand it down a little bit, and then they're just going to touch up the paint right there. And bada boom, bada bing, you got all these different wall decorations and stuff. I don't remember exactly what those are called, but that would be how you would make that kind of stuff. Like I said, not going to be that hard. It is going to be a tedious thing to do. This big sneaker, again, when you have big, large pieces like this, especially of something that is typically small that they just blow up to make it big, more often than not, they're going to send this out to somebody called a fabricator. And that person will specially custom build just the one prop piece for the production. They'll pay them a bunch of money to do so because they're specialized in doing this kind of stuff. And then they will have a truck come and pick it up from wherever their either their studio where they work is, or even at their home or wherever on earth they decided to make this shoe. And yeah, it's going to be the same stuff. You're going to be sticking on this most likely vinyl that will adhere to the shoe here as well. I don't know what they made the shoe out of. It could be a hard foam. It could be wood. For the most part, I'd imagine it would probably be hard foam because you can just cut the shape and then you just stick the vinyl on top of it, and then it'll hold the different cuts and forms that you made while you kind of like smooth out the vinyl over it as well. So that's most likely what they did for that. Again, there's no behind the scenes. I don't know exactly what, and it's hard to tell when you're just looking, you know? So here we got this really nice little hallway here. Again, I believe this is also attached to the throne area. It's just a hallway that's coming off of it. In fact, I think you can kind of see the throne chair area right over here. But they just got a bunch of different, like, very extravagant looking props. So they got like these different busts that they put here on these little pillars. All that stuff's going to be stuff that you can rent from prop houses and whatnot. And then they hung these really awesome red curtains as well that add again to like that, I guess Renaissance is like kind of the theme that they're going for, especially, or I guess medieval, because they have the knights. And then they have the different long flags as well. Those, I believe, you would have to custom order, and you could just buy them and they will show up to set, and then you hang them up, and not a big deal, but it's cool set pieces. However, I will say it's pretty nuts how many different sets of armor they actually have. And I think they actually put somebody in one of these sets of armors a little bit later in the video, or it could be CGI'd. I'm not 100% sure. The way that all this graphical work goes, it does make it hard to tell, and they did a very good job at blending. So here you get to see they actually have a custom flag built, or not built, but made for this. And our friend here, she is standing amongst all these chairs that have been tipped over, as well as a whole bunch of sneakers that they probably got. And yeah, for the most part, I do wonder if these are sneakers that they either borrowed from people, or maybe it's even the set production designers' shoes or whatever. A lot of the times art people will use stuff that they already have, or they will even borrow it from people that they know, especially if it's just for a one-day shoot. But yeah, it's just stuff you got to keep track of and make sure that you have. I will say this, having her sit up on the chandelier here is kind of blowing my mind here a bit. You can see that they have secure lines on here as well, that's going to be like an industrial strength chain. And like you can see them on the other chandeliers as well. Those are like the safety hooks, so God forbid any of the other things break, those will catch the whole chandelier. But the fact that she is sitting up there is pretty dangerous. So I wonder how they actually did that. I'm sure she's also strapped onto a rope or something somewhere, and they could have just kind of rotoed those out in post-production as well. But I'd imagine she's got to be rigged up some way or another to this. But yet again, we haven't seen the behind the scenes, so we don't know. Okay, so this was the knights that I was talking about that I was like, there's a lot of them here. These knights are edited into the video. They are animated knights. You can tell because they're quite literally identical. They just pretty much copied and pasted them. And then you can actually see one move at some point too. But yeah, these are all edited in to the room afterwards, but they're so well edited. It was hard to tell when I was watching the video the first time. I was like, were those real or not? And I'm pretty sure they are not real. So yeah, right here you get to see they all kind of raise their heads here and stuff. That's all edited, and those are not real those aren't real sets of armor. So then they move on to the next set, which is also like some sort of like NASA type of a set that's going on, but it's also could be like a military type thing, especially the girls are wearing all green. So at least in the US that would be more military colors. I'm also noticing too, it's primarily white guys in this this video as the extras here. So I'm wondering, did they film this in the US perhaps? Either that or they found every single white guy in Korea and brought them to one room. So you can actually see, yeah, it's mission control. So that would be like a NASA type of a deal. So for the most part, for this whole set, it's a pretty big set where they have two rooms connecting. One's more of a octangular room, I believe is the shape. But yeah, for the most part, a lot of the stuff you're going to see in here, again, I say this over and over again, it's going to be rentals. You're going to be renting the desks and stuff. I will say for this set in particular, I imagine, especially if they're in the States filming this, this could definitely be a set that is already pre-set up that they are just renting out to use. Not a bad thing if they are. It's actually a really great thing. And then they most likely had it painted to the colors that they wanted, so they got that blue. And then everybody's dressed in blue as well. Yeah, also you can even see on the floor it says sneakers here. But yeah, for the most part, I think this might be a set that was actually built already that they just customized for the sneakers. So anything that says sneakers on it, that would be something that the crew touched up. But for the most part, I do believe this could be, especially seeing that literally all the extras look like white people. Most likely this was shot in the U.S. or perhaps even in Europe somewhere, but probably the U.S. Yeah, in that case, then more often than not, they have sets that are already built. A lot of different locations have sets that are pre-built that you just go in there and you customize them to the way that you want them to be. And then it's just different enough that people don't notice. Like these kind of control panels, they're very, very specific to, space stuff. So I would imagine this would be something you would probably rent. Like the location would have it and rent it, and then they could just kind of touch it up with colors and stuff. But yeah, again, I believe this would be a rented location. So it's actually funny too. You can see they pushed those desks off to the side. They even moved the desks on the left for them to have a bigger space to dance in. But in doing so, you can actually see that they have this whole entire logo here. That's their logo. Spread Sneakers Worldwide. It's also on the door here in the back. Also over here too. And yeah, that's another thing. It's going to be vinyl. You're going to stick it to the floor. And most likely it probably came in pieces, and you can kind of see the different strips here. Like you can see the lines that go down all the way across. And those are going to be the different strips, and you just line them up, make sure that they are perfect, and then bada boom, bada bing, you got a floor. Another thing that you'll notice is they do these low angle shots where you can kind of see up and like out through like a ceiling window or whatever, sunroof. And I will say, while I was watching the video, it definitely looks like the sky is edited in, and also the way that the glare is on the windows definitely makes it look edited. Plus the seams also look edited, but that's also because I'm frozen on this one image here. But as it plays, it looks a lot cleaner. I did for a second think maybe there is a window up there and they're just throwing shoes on top, but no, it is added in. Not a bad thing. Like I've said before, additions via video effects and stuff is not a bad thing. So then we get to see this cool little shop that they have built. And the awesome thing is we'll see in a minute that you actually can go outside and it is onto a larger set as well. But there's very specific things that I wanted to point out. So obviously there's a few things where it's like all the painted cabinets and stuff are different colors. That stuff is going to be relatively easy to build, and you paint it whatever colors you want it to be. Same thing goes with like the railings and stuff for the lights. Those are going to be just regular light fixtures that they just painted to the right colors. But there is a mechanic here in the back where these shelves, they fall in, but they don't fall all the way. And we are going to talk about that right now. Okay, so you get to see that the sneakers, they're all starting to fall. An interesting piece here is, you might notice, is that all the sneakers fall off. The shelves are completely tipped forward. However, they stop. They stop at a pretty specific levels. They don't fall all the way. So it does stay relatively safe. Now, we don't get to see what's behind this, so it's a little hard to tell exactly what's going on here. Personally, what I like to believe is there is some sort of either rope or chain that is attached to the back of the bookshelves here, and it will kind of lock at a certain distance, so then the shelf will only go so far. Or they could have also have done that with like pieces of wood, where there would be a wood with like it's going through a slot, and then it has like a built up kind of like strong bit piece around that slot, and then at the very end of the piece of wood that's coming through, they would attach another piece of wood so that once it gets to that point, it catches and it can no longer go through because there is too much surface area to fit through the hole. Most likely it would be some sort of rope / chain kind of combo thing, especially when you saw what they did with the chandeliers. So most likely that is what happened here, but either way, it's a very cool effect. It's really, really cool. I thought it was awesome. I wasn't expecting to see the shelves fall forward, but the way that they stop is just really solid. And then they go back up relatively easy too, and it's not a hard reset. Plus, you'll notice at the very bottom here, there is not that much support in the front, so they should be very easy to tip forward. They cut out a little bit of a little indent there, and that will make it easier to weight it forward so it'll fall. So like I said, they come outside of the store, and you can actually see just behind them, it actually takes you inside of that little shop, the little hut. So the hut itself is actually a real set piece. They built it, the whole thing. However, the shoe that's on top, that is animated. Obviously, the stuff in the background is. So most likely what it is a hut that's on a huge green screen with behind it, so that they could add in all the extra things. They might have even added in this round piece on top to make like the roof of it. That might also be edited in. It's a little smooth looking for me. It feels like it doesn't look that real, so that might also be added. But yet again, we won't know until we see the behind the scenes, which isn't out yet when I'm filming. So yeah, that's going to about do it for me for this video here. It is a very, very fun and awesome video. I love the song. I love the message behind it. And yeah, ITZY is pretty cool. They are very, very cool. So guys, I don't have anything else to say about this video. They had a lot of very cool set pieces. But yeah, if you guys learned anything, please go ahead and sub to the channel, because there's going to be more and more content just like this coming out, and you don't want to miss out on it. And then also check out all of our links down below to the social medias, including our Discord, our Twitch, and then also our Patreon, which has all sorts of exclusive content that you don't want to miss out on. And that is a way to financially support us as well, if you're interested. So guys, I love you. Stay aggressively positive and have a fantastic week. And we will see you on the next one. Goodbye.